Hello everybody, it is Michael here from My Retirement Trading, and today we're going to talk about passive income investing, the snowball effect, and the beauty of compounding. But before we get into this, I must state that this is not financial advice or a recommendation, and it is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get into it. Well, I never really made any real money in the stock market until I started buying and holding index funds and dollar cost averaging and reinvesting the dividends. But I had a bunch of cash laying around and I was only getting about 4% in a money market account. And I thought I could definitely do better than that. So then I started exploring and I found passive income investing. And so that's where this journey kind of begins. Well, upon doing some research, I found that these covered call funds, they usually pay either weekly or monthly for the most part, their distributions. And we're going to dig into that a little bit through these spreadsheets. Well, we head over to my cash account on my spreadsheet. And I got all these tickers across here. But these first two, QQQI and SPYI by NEOS funds, you notice there's gaps in the spreadsheet. These are actually monthly payers. They only pay once a month, but they pay really nice distributions. Like this one paid $967.03. This one paid $420.97. But then you go over here and you see something like this ULTY by YMAX, and the spreadsheet's filled up. It's a weekly payer, and it paid $36.71 this past week. This YMAX by YMAX, it's a weekly as well. It paid $16.54. And this NVII by REX shares, it's a weekly payer as well, and it paid $44.31 for a grand total of $1,485.56. Well, if you head over to my dividend tracker, crypto in my portfolio, we got all these tickers right here. And if you look right here, these are all filled up on the spreadsheet. YETH by Roundhill and YBTC by Roundhill, they all pay weekly. And you notice the distributions are $46.60 and $201.96. And that's in a week. And then if you go over here, BTCI by NEOS funds, you notice there's gaps. And this one paid $284.72, but that's monthly. Then you go over here to this one by Granite Shares, XBTY. It's a weekly pair, and it paid $32.79 for a grand total of $566.07. Well, last week, I had one of the best weeks since I've been doing this, and I received over $2,800 worth of distributions. And in my cash account, the ones that weren't based on crypto, I received $1,485.56. And the ones that were based on crypto, I received $566.07. And in my IRA, I had a position on QQQI by NEOS funds, and I received $793.11. And the grand total of all of these was $2,844.74. And I would consider that a very nice distribution. Well, that was a great week of payments with over $2,800. And I kind of didn't think nothing about it. And then, this came to me all of a sudden. They were so high. This week was so high because of the monthly payers. And they only pay once a month, but this week's usually one of the better weeks because I have these covered call funds that pay monthly. This particular week had some by NEO's funds. But anyway, so I got to thinking about it, and I'm sitting there thinking, there's 12 months in a year. And I'm going to have probably 12 weeks very similar to this past week in a year's time. And so then I decided to do a little bit of math. And I'm like, if I was to receive the same amount of distributions similar for the rest of the year, in a 12-month period, it would be over $34,000. Actually, $34,136 and some change. And I'm like, wow. And then I got to thinking, like, I have more monthly payers than this. This is a small amount. And so it made me really start understanding the power of passive income investing and why people get into this strategy. I always set my, at this point in my life, I have my distributions set on DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Program, where it takes the distributions and it buys more shares of these funds. So the following month, I will have a larger amount of shares to get paid on. And just a little example here, like on ULTY, I got about 6 more shares this past week. On YMAX, I got 1 share. On the SPYI by NEO's funds, I got 8 shares. And the QQQI by NEO's funds, in one account, I got 18 shares. The BTCI by NEO's funds, I got 4 more shares. The YETH by Roundhill, I got an additional share. The YBTC by Roundhill, I got 4 more shares. The NVII by Rex shares, I got an additional share. And the Granite shares XBTY, I got an additional share. So a lot of these shares, definitely add up. So if you got 8 shares additional and they pay around 50 cents, that's like another $4, next month. So the power of this really adds up quickly. Well, in conclusion, last week I received over $2,800. And if you multiply that by 12 payments, it would be over $34,000. And so I'm definitely becoming a little bit of a bigger fan of these covered call ETFs, especially the ones that are index-based. At least I feel a little safer in them. And my plan is, when I get into retirement, is to convert some of my index funds into these and receive larger amounts of payments per month to live on. So I'm definitely becoming a little bit, a bigger fan of these for sure. And so I just wanted to share my journey and show people what's possible. But $34,000 worth of payments in a year, I would call that pretty good. And that's not even all what I will receive this year. So I just wanted to share my journey. And on that note, until next time, I will catch you all later.